back to the channel, and once again we are talking about Animal Crossing leaks. Now, if you didn't watch my prior video, I will put that in the pinned comment or description or something. I'll quickly go over what we talked about before, but there is a leaker at NWeedle, and I said this in the last video. They're about 30-70 from one of my sources, so 30% right, 70% not so good. They predicted things like Metroid Dread and, you know, have insight into that. So they are talking about, to catch you all up to speed, they're talking about an Animal Crossing game, the next Animal Crossing game coming out in 2026. Okay. Now here's what we covered last time. And I do have some updates on this as well. So they're saying it's an ultimate version. They're saying game concepts like vehicles and cities, skyscrapers, missions, puzzles, mini games, multiplayer, 2026 along with this series. Now I do want to update you guys on this series thing. A couple Spanish speakers, because Google Translate isn't always like one-to-one, right? They did translate this, and they are saying that that could possibly mean a TV series or some kind of anime series or something like that. That's a little crazy to me. It would be awesome. I think it would be a good fit. There is Animal Crossing manga already, so like, I don't know, that might not be too out of the ordinary. But basically, like, I feel like all of this there's nothing real crazy here. 2026, I think, is a safe bet when it will come out, but that's what we covered last time. Now, they have since posted 2 more things on this leak, and that's kind of what I want to go over today. I probably won't be covering this anymore past this video, and if new details come out, like if they add more posts, I'll probably put them in the pinned comment, like just to add a little bit. But I think it's interesting enough to cover. Some people in my last video were like, why are you even covering this? It's 2 years away. Can't trust leakers. And that is true. I'm like anti-leaker, believe it or not. But if this information does come out to be true, like, I don't know, maybe we can look at this person in the future as a source. I don't know. That's how things happen. There is also something at the end of this second thing that I really want to talk about that could kind of open our eyes more to this. All right, so let's translate this. And again, same as last video, if you are a Spanish speaker and you can better translate this, or if something wasn't properly translated, let me know. So more info here. Some of these concepts are discarded from the last game. Okay. So that's interesting because we covered vehicles. We covered a city with skyscrapers. That to me is kind of weird because New Horizons was all about a deserted island, right? We were building up our island. So vehicles, skyscrapers don't really fit into what the last game was. However, we're going to keep reading. Maybe they scrapped like a city island that we could possibly go to. That's my only, thinking on that. New monetary system within the game. This is talking about the next game now. This is very believable. New Leaf, we had Meow coupons. New Horizons, we had Nook Mile tickets. There's been a trend of like multiple forms of currency. I don't know what the currency will be called. So that's not too crazy right there. This next one is very cool. The possibility of it. Large shopping center where you can have your own store and sell your designs to other users. Furniture store, clothing store, vehicle workshop, etc. Okay. Shopping center where you can have your own store and sell your designs to other users. Kind of reminds me of City Folk, where it was like an auction house, I think it was called, where you can like post your items and then people with internet could like bid on them. I think that's what was happening. This is cool, actually. Sell your designs to other users. I don't know how that would work. Like they set a price, you buy it, and then it's like downloaded onto your Switch or whatever console. That's pretty interesting. I do like more of the multiplayer elements that they have set in the previous leak. Sell your designs to other users, furniture store, clothing store. Interesting. And then again, they bring up the vehicle workshop. Okay. Now the last thing that they talk about. Separate. Okay, here we go. Separate city completely online to interact with connected users. Mini games, vehicle races, cake throwing, which is the birthday celebration, I guess, mouse hunts, etc. That is pretty exciting, actually. I do like the idea where it's optional online, because I don't know about you guys, but I primarily like to play my Animal Crossing by myself, like single player experience. It's always been like that, you know, build up my island, hang out with my villagers. The idea of a completely online area is kind of cool. And the fact that it's optional, right? So that's where your mini games will be, vehicle races, cake throwing, mouse hunt, stuff like that. Now, I do want to like just make a guess. Like, let's assume all this is true, right? I know it's a leaker and like, what can you believe? This kind of sounds like where you would get some other kind of currency, right? So like vehicle races, if you win, you might get some of that other currency that they were talking about. Love the idea of birthday celebrations online. I think that's super cute. Now, the last line here is what I want to focus in on. This is the basis that was started in a creative brainstorming prior to the start of development. That is huge, okay? Because I'm not a game developer. You might not be either. There's always ideas, right, that they throw out and they just see what sticks. And if this leak is from that brainstorming session that Nintendo had, it kind of makes a lot of this a lot more believable. Maybe they had a target year in mind, like, hey, we're starting this new game. We have a bunch of ideas. 2026 is what we're shooting for. Let's also discuss like this online city thing. Let's discuss, you know, maybe vehicles, maybe, you know, villager, like being able to sell your patterns, sell your things to other players. This last line makes me think that all of this was probably true at one point. And that's, I think, the main thing that I want to hit on in this video is like, this seems like very early on information. I don't know how they got this information, but this seems like very early information in the beginning of the brainstorming session that Nintendo had. Again, I don't know how they got this information, if they know someone that worked on this, or I don't know. Kind of exciting, if I'm being honest, that this is kind of, well, let's assume it's true. Kind of exciting that this is what Nintendo has kind of pivoted towards for the next game. This is the thing that I want to I think there's two major things. The brainstorming thing that we just talked about, and then concepts discarded from the last game. I don't know if I believe that Nintendo was like thinking about vehicles in a huge city for New Horizons. That to me is the only like red flag here. Everything else seems normal. New monetary system, the shopping center online only. I could see that happening, right? But like discarded from the last game, I just don't see any of this DNA of ideas in the last game. New Horizons is very bare. There was the Happy Home Island where we kind of were building a city up, but I don't really see much of these other ideas in New Horizons. I still am on board with like a lot of these ideas. None of these ideas are really like out of the ordinary. You know what I'm saying? Completely online, mini games, vehicle races. Again, I don't know what's up with like the emphasis on vehicles, vehicle races, vehicle workshops, the ability to like even use vehicles. It's all very exciting. Let me know what you think of this latest, these latest two posts that they've added to this. The other thing that's kind of weird is like they made this initial post, which we covered in the last video, and they did this March 12th. And then a day later, they added 2 more sort of paragraphs. Like, why didn't they start the thread with that? You know what I'm saying? Like, why didn't they just keep adding to that? Maybe their source is learning more information too. But my takeaway from this is that, like I said before, this is probably stuff that was true at one point. I think this last line is a huge giveaway. The basis that was started in a creative brainstorming prior to the start of development. Also, I was born at night, but not last night. I know that that last line is definitely to kind of cover their tracks a little bit. Because if I'm a leaker and I put this last line, well, this is what they were talking about, but you know, things change. I hate when leakers do that. So maybe this was all true at one point, and then we get the next Animal Crossing and it takes place in space or something, and then none of this is true. But yeah, I don't know. The last line is very telling. I wouldn't look too much into this. Kind of encouraging that it's all like, it's all consistent, right? They're talking about cities, vehicles, online. Like, they've been consistent about their report, but we'll see if it actually comes true. So let me know again what you think. And I will see you in the next video. No more leak talk unless it's like something crazy. All right. Bye, everyone.